This is a special edition of This Spartan Life. We recently had the pleasure of meeting up with Kurt Anderson, the host of Studio 360, an exceptional radio show about arts and culture which airs weekly across the country. This is a great opportunity for us because we've always felt that online gaming is a really interesting development in communication that non-gamers might want to learn about. To put it in a little perspective, the game we're in now, Halo 2, has logged in cumulative hours on Xbox Live over 10,000 years worth of games. All those people interacting in a virtual space for all those hours is creating a mighty, dense chunk of popular culture that will impact the world at large in ways that we're just beginning to understand. These are some of the things we like to talk about on This Spartan Life, in between blowing stuff up. Kurt wanted to join us in the game, so we hooked him up with an Xbox and sent him an invite on Xbox Live.
So, we are here in the middle, I guess, of the Halo video game landscape, or where are we? You call it the stage.
Well, this is the headlong map in the online multiplayer edition of Halo 2, and we call this our stage because it's kind of become home. This is where we make our talk show. This is where we begin most of our segments, and it's kind of the one thing in the entire game that looked the most like a stage.
One of the things to understand about what we do is the concept of the virtual camera. I explained to Kurt that in a first-person shooter game like this, you always see the gun in front of you. But some resourceful gamers figured out a way to drop that gun, thereby giving them a clear view to record their gameplay or comedy skits that they write, or, in our case, a talk show.
So this is one of those don't try this at home kids, because there is no ability for a regular Halo player to put a cameraman in his game.
No, absolutely, there is. In fact, this employs no physical hacks of any kind. It's literally just within the gameplay. It's just a little bit of trickery that was not intended by the game designers. But I found this by going online and looking into it, and
Don't you hate that when you're trying to impress your guest and your vehicle spontaneously explodes behind you?
So where are the normal aliens that populate Halo? Why aren't they coming and trying to kill us?
There's two modes that you can play this game in. There's campaign mode, which is where you follow the story of the game and you kind of fight the battles of the main character, who's called Master Chief. And then there's the multiplayer mode, which is, to me, interesting in a lot of ways because it's more like a big sandbox. You can go online and you can play these, preset games if you like, or you can just kind of go in there and do other stuff, talk, hang out. So it kind of becomes a social space, an online social space, which is a very interesting development, I think, for gaming.
It's interesting because obviously it's so realistic on so many levels. To limit it just to throwing grenades or shooting at stuff seems a kind of limitation on what is otherwise a fully verisimilitudinous world.
I wanted to take Kurt for a ride in the newly respawned ship, but we quickly found ourselves in the familiar game of ejecting each other from the vehicle while trying to board it.
Oh, Kurt, you just pulled me out, so you want to go around to the side. Oops, you just pulled Kurt out. Now you're pulling me out. Oh, I'm sorry, now I did it to you.
Eventually we worked it out, and I took Kurt to see some of the odd details that make Halo such an interesting place.
Now, in the course of your normal talk show, do you do things like knock over gas tanks, or do you just stand and speak?
Well, we do try to interact with the world as much as we can. There's a lot to do in the game, and it's more interesting if we move around, because then the viewer gets to see more and feel more like they're a part of it.
Okay, so you're going to drive.
Oh, okay. I just jumped into the vehicle. I thought...
Yeah, this is good. We'll give you a driving lesson, Kurt.
All right. Well,
I'm not going to try to push you into going this way.
Whoa!
There you go. You've flipped this already.
Yeah. My wife doesn't let me drive our car, so I think this vehicle that actually flies is probably beyond my
it might not be good.
skills prudently.
So we got away alive, and we headed for the beach in an attempt to extend our summer a little bit.
Assault.
So here we are in a different place. We're no longer on the stage. We're out on a beach.
Wait, no, he forgot his bowling ball.
What?
He left without his bowling ball. We should probably bring it to him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, well, let's walk this way. Let's explore a little bit. It's kind of a pleasant, beach vacation kind of like a resort, really.
a kind of post-apocalyptic industrial resort, I guess.
Well, you know, one man's resort is another man's post-apocalyptic, hideously ugly resort.
Very J.M.W. Turner, if you know his...
I think the designers must have been influenced.
Yeah, exactly.
So because we're in a multiplayer game online now, we're all blue, and the other team is red. But you know, I have to say, gamers are usually very friendly and courteous. And you know,
we might have to... Okay, you've got the bowling ball. Okay, follow me. We better move quickly.
Okay.
And I don't have any grenades left. I need a gun. I need a gun quick. Here we go.
So unlike other talk shows, the talk show form that we're used to, there's a high degree of unpredictability here.
There is a high degree of unpredictability, you know? I'm trying to clear the way for us here. These guys are, Oh. You hearing the other gamers?
I am hearing the other gamers.
Okay.
As we kill them.
New players are sometimes drawn to shiny objects, and around this time Kurt picked up a plasma sword, which would come in pretty handy later on.
Yeah, with that thing you'll be punning noobs in no time.
So are there shows from the history of television that are the, you know, part of your DNA, what you think about, that has gone into the creation of this Spartan line?
When I first started doing this, coming from the generation I come from, I thought of the Tom Jones show.
You mean Tom Jones, the British crooner? Meaning you throw your underwear to the audience, or what?
You know, if I could, I would. I can't get this outfit off. It's very difficult. Yeah, and I think mainly just because Tom Jones would come on, he'd entertain people, he'd have a little opening monologue.
Now, we're not auditioning co-hosts today.
So we think of it as more of like a TV show.
You know what this sort of reminds me of? I mean, again, I think of all kinds of television this reminds me of it. At one moment it reminded me of the old show American Sportsman. Another time it reminds me of Survivor plus a talk show. And then you also think of the Today Show where the spectators are standing around the studio. But in this case, they're actually getting in the show with Al Roker. It is a hybrid of many forms.
Well, thanks, Kurt. Although I don't think Al Roker ever had to beat any of his guests with a large metal ball.
Oh, you just killed somebody, Kurt.
I know.
Very, very good. Kurt, you know, I just noticed that there's this thing over here where I can return this guy's bowling ball. He was looking for it. Oh, look. I seem to be the chosen one. I think maybe we should get out of here.
Bomb planted.
I don't know.
Game over.
Too many levels of reality.